Good afternoon, everyone. This is Robin Carter. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas, and today I'm here to share another alternate with the February 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit named Sunshine and Smiles. This was a very cute kit, and I already have one alternate showing how I turn these into card fronts and made my own rainbow, and that way we have the whole other half of the card to make alternates with. Now, I'm not using those today. I still have those to work with, but I have some very fun alternates to share with you today. But first, let me get some housekeeping out of the way. Going on right now is the subscription period for the March Paper Pumpkin Kit, and here was a flyer that was in our box. As many of you know, March is an anniversary year, and actually this is the 10th anniversary, so we always get an extra little goodie in the box, and this time they've already showed us it's going to be a stamp set, so I'm looking forward to that. So that really is a great value. Not only will you get the stamp set that's included in every kit, but you will also get an additional stamp set. So if you are not already subscribed to Paper Pumpkin and do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be yours, and I will have a link in the description box below this video of how you can subscribe through me as your Paper Pumpkin demonstrator. One more thing going on is celebration. Celebration will end on February 28th. So you want to get any of those goodies you haven't gotten, now is a great time. With every $50 of merchandise, you get a free item out of the catalog. There is a $50 level and a $100 level. And if your order equals 150, you actually qualify for the celebration and hostess rewards as well. So keep that in mind when placing your orders. One more thing, coming up March 1st after celebration will be when this product goes live for everyone. So this is an online exclusive. Something new they're doing this year is a couple times a year they will have online exclusives. So it just means they won't be in a catalog. So you'll be able to see them on the website, and March 1st these go live. The Hello Irresistible Suite. The suite includes the bundle of the stamp set and the dies and the paper and the dots. So these can be purchased individually here. Other products are going to be some embossing folders, and we all know I love embossing folders, so those are on my list, and the naturally gilded and some alphabet stamps. So looking forward to that. I can actually pre-order, but I've kind of already can't have it all at once, so I will be looking forward to those coming. All right, so let's get to our alternates, and the first one I want to share with you is, I have my little goodie box over here, is this stamp. Now I did bring in some additional products to make these. So I have two actually made already. Here is a frog. So they're pretty similar, so I'll just keep one. Actually, this one I left the puddle, I left the puddle on, and this one I cut it off and faced him that way. So, or actually he's just a different one on the DSP facing the other direction. Interesting, I didn't even notice that when I made those. So I'm going to show you how I made those. Some additional products I used was the Ocean Front stamp set just for this little sprig. And I believe it was a bonus stamp set in 2020 for March. There's some grass that if you don't have this set and have that grass, you could use that. And then also a set I haven't used yet that I wanted to on this was the Rays of Light. So let me start with that. I have it on a Stamparatus plate. Let me get this out of the way in my little kit of goodies of making them. Oh, which is right here. Okay, so first of all, you want a scrap sheet of paper. Here is one already made, so this is what it looks like. You'll want a scrap of paper that's about 3.5 by 5 3/8. Let me just make sure that's right. Yes, 3.5 by 5 3/8, so it'll fit a whole card front. Let me get my Stamparatus out so I can show you how to make one. This is my other plate of all the other yummy stamps. So for this one, you actually do not need your Stamparatus. I mean, not your Stamparatus, your deluxe mat. So I actually tape mine because it tends to move. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And then I'm going to show you the easiest way I found to use this. So this is a large background stamp. So since I want the sun to be most of it, I want to, or excuse me, as far left as I can get it, I want to line this up about where I want my sun. I want it high in the sky, and then you can line it up with the edge. Okay, then I pick the whole thing up where I want it, and then I set it in my Stamparatus. And don't set it too close to the hinge because you know that makes it hard to stamp there. And then I can pick up my stamp. Now, you want to be careful because since this is a background stamp and I cut a piece just large enough for what I want, I won't be able to tape it down or magnet it down. If you want to be safe, you can always cut a larger piece of paper, stamp it, and then trim it to this size. But I'm going to trust that I've done well with that. So let me get my large Daffodil Delight. Okay, I wanted this in Daffodil Delight, and I see I've got a piece of washi tape there. I'm going to try to get it off without moving my paper. And it helps if you put a stamp case. It helps make your stamp inking image, your stamp, flat. You know what? I'm going to make sure there's no little strays of hair, because that'll make a little thing. So ink this up well, because if you cut it to only the size you're going to use, you have the chance of the paper moving, and then it wouldn't be able to restamp. So I just ink it up really well. That's kind of why I got my large. Could do that with a small. It would just take longer with the ink spot. All right, so then I'm going to just close it carefully and apply pressure. Now, since I know I can't move it, I'm going to leave it there for just a second to absorb the ink while I explain the next step. Okay, the next thing I did was I created my own grass. Now, if you follow the instructions of my first alternates, you would have some extra grass from the kit, the die cut pieces, because I cut it in half when I made it my alternates. So you would have at least an extra piece of grass and wouldn't have to make one. But if you use the whole thing, I'm going to show you what I did. So you'll want a little strip of paper that's about, I'm going to show you two ways I made it. But for sure you want it 5 3/8, and then I used 1.5 inches. And why I used 1.5 inches is I brought in my watercolor shapes and used this image right here to create my grass. So let's see how the sunshine's doing. Hopefully he should be done. We can get him out of the way. And he looks pretty good. I'm just going to press one more spot. That looks better. All right, so we have our sunshine. I'm going to clean my mat. And then clean my sunshine. I first do a paper towel, and then I get my chamois pieces. All right, and then I'm going to need something to dry my platform with. All right, so we're done with this stamp. I'll put it away, and I'm going to put my deluxe mat back in. Now, if you're like me, I tend to move my deluxe mat. You probably already saw how I had it taped down. I don't know why it tends to move on me, so I'm going to stick it back in the corner, tape him down, in 2 corners so he stays for our next thing we will use him for. All right, so all I did was take a 5 3/8 by about 1.5 inch sheet of white cardstock, and then I took my shape and cut one real quick. 5 3/8. This one might be a little larger, but it'll be able to show you what I did. And I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper so I can keep my thing here. I'll just use, well, I don't want to use the back of my printout in case I show it again. Here we go. I have lots of mistyped or copy paper that I use the back side of to help give it a repurpose it. Okay, so you want to take the big block stamp, which is right here, and I used Old Olive ink. I keep scooting that. I've started using this so I know for sure if I show stuff on the grid sheet that it's in the video. All right, so you want to ink it up. I find larger stamps easier to ink that way. All right, and then I'm going to quickly just do a stamp off, then I'm going to stamp on. It'd be nice if I had a different color because I could hardly see. All right, so there's that. Then I'm going to do the other half. Quickly stamp off, and then try to line that up. I hope my hair is not in the video. And stamp again. So that gives a little whimsical grass look. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is just use your blending brushes and make green cardstock, or you could use actually Old Olive cardstock, but I like the look of this. And so then what I used was the little playful piggy dies, and the last I looked, these are still on the clearance rack, and what a value for, like, I think $12.40. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the price on the StampinUp.com website are these little piggy dies. So it has this grass piece that I then take and I put along the top, all right, and cut the grassy knoll is what I'll call it, the grass piece. So I have several that I've done. This one was done darker. This one is lighter. I think I even have another one in here. Maybe not. Maybe I already pulled that out. But anyway, that is how you make that. Now, when you line this up, it's not going to go all the way across. So you want to washi that down, run it through. And then where this piece ends, you can line up this little dot. You can slide that in there. Okay, and I tend to do it on this side. That way, if I put my little dog or even flowers there, it would cover up if there's a little mishap. So that's how I made the grass. So let me put up this. Don't want it, here it is. Okay, and the little piggy dies item number is 160254. And there are 18 dies in this set. And we're going to use it again on the next card. So I'm going to keep these handy to the side. All right, and I need a card base. Now, oh, I didn't tell you. So the little dog is part of a piece I cut out from the designer series paper. Get it back here. Got all kinds of pieces out. It's the Sunshine and Smile, or excuse me, Rain and Shine 12 by 12 designer series paper. And it coordinates with this kit, and its item number is 160540. And so that is where I cut out my little dog out of one of the sheets of paper. Okay, and I used the rain paper on my last alternates. So anyway, it has many things to coordinate with this kit, which we will use. All right, so let me back to finding the card base. A blank one, not my alternates. All right, so we can use this sun piece. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm just going to put some Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. I like it because it gives me wiggle room to get it straight. I just have it in a fine tip bottle. That's what you saw. And I have to pick it up to get it off my white so I can see if it's level. Okay, and then I'm going to use one of my grass pieces that I've already cut. How's the dark one? No, I don't like that spot. See, I have this one. I found the other one. That's my tall one. Okay, I'll use him. And I'll put my froggy over where that little line meets. All right, so I'm going to add my grass using the same Tombow multi-purpose. Now, I'm not going to put much glue around the grass because I'm going to tuck in some flowers in a second. So put that down at the bottom. Line that up. Okay, and now we get to the flowers and the frog, and I'm going to bring my stamp and the sunshine. So I'm going to bring my Stamparatus back out and show you my improved die cutting method. This is the empty plate. So first of all, you want to take your die, and these dies were available as an add-on for this kit, the frog and the flowers, and you want to just cut one piece out. You know, make a template. Here's a old template. It got too ugly, so I made a new one. All right, and then I put my stamps on my plate, somewhere just where these won't overlap, and then I stamped right on my deluxe mat. Okay, and I think I didn't get this all the way in the corner. If you're going to tape it, make sure it's all the way in the corner. I do that because mine tends to move. So there's a little tip for you. All right, so then after you've stamped this on a deluxe mat, let me get my other deluxe mat, and I'm just going to set this over here. It might matter a little bit, but so you're just going to stamp in Memento black ink. Okay, this will show you better. You're going to stamp on your deluxe mat. And then you're going to take your template, and again, this is my old ugly one, and you're going to hover right around your image. Okay, and then you're going to tape it down. And then you can go cut a whole bunch of little froggies, and look, and you'll save a lot of paper. I was going to show you my little scrap if he's around here. You can cut a whole little froggies close together. Oh, here they are. On a little sheet of paper, and then stick those in your template and then stamp, and you should have perfectly aligned frogs. So I wanted to show you that. You can do that with any dies that you have. I need to do a video on its own of showing that technique so people don't have to hunt through this video to find it. But I have too many alternates to share first. So anyway, here's our little froggies. And I already have some stamped, but I'm just going to show you that it should work. Hopefully I didn't move it and I have it all the way in the corner. Same thing. I think I stamped all my flowers already, so you'll get the idea. With the frog, I use my little one. All the way in the corner mat. Okay, and so then we have our frog. So that's what I did. I cut a whole bunch of them that I just showed you on that sheet of paper. And then I just came and put one in, stamp, put one in, stamp. All right, so that is how I made the frogs. So we need one froggy for this kit. And my fox. I keep calling him a fox. He's not a fox, he's a dog. He kind of looks like a fox. Just going to say and keep to that. All right. Actually, this time I did not cut the fox, or excuse me, the dog. I thought I'd use this cute little turtle. He's also a part of the DSP. So we need the frog, we need 2 flowers. And if you have extra flowers in your kit, you can always use those as well. That one's more centered. I had some boo-boo ones. All right, here's my little box of goodies, of die cuts, so I wouldn't lose them. All right, so I'm going to get my scrap paper back. And I'm going to color my flowers. I'm using, by the way, these are the watercolor pencils, and there's 2 different packs, and they are a great value. I've had these for years, and you can't hardly tell I've used them, but I use them quite often in my coloring. They're very easy to work with. So just remember, if you go to sharpen these, the watercolor pencils are made out of fine, smooth detail. It's not very strong. So when you sharpen it, you don't want to sharpen it to a fine pencil point. I just sharpened this one to reveal more of the color, and that's about as far as I went, because if you keep trying to get it to a point, it breaks off very easily and you'll end up wasting a whole lot of your pencil. So just be mindful of that when you go to sharpen them. You just want to reveal enough to use. All right, let me do my frog. Do him like that. Okay, now if you don't want to smooth it, you can color it in better than I did. But one option to smooth out your watercolor brush is to use a blender pen. But a new idea that someone had at convention, and some demonstrators have shared this, is to use the Blends color lifter. So I'm going to use that today and see how it does. When you open these, this one, it doesn't matter. You want to open it straight out. The brush tip, you'll want to be, excuse me, more careful, because you don't want to mess up your brush tip. All right, so that's the yellow. Then I'm going to do the pink. So what this does, instead of the blender pen, is it's more of a alcohol-based product. So it's not going to peel up your paper. Like if you use the blender pen over and over and over, eventually your paper will kind of peel. And there's something wrong with this flower. Ooh, I like it dark. I'm gonna go back and add some more to the others. Anyway, so it helps your paper not peel. So you can, like if I had done this with the blender pen, it would have been all icky looking. I'll make my flowers a little darker. Okay, rub off that. And then I want to do my green. So again, this is going to be the brush tip, and I'm going to pull it out like that and blend all my green. Smooth, I guess. All right, and then go after the frog. So did you see it change to more of a smooth look? And when I use my brush tip, I do it to the side, just like I'm showing you what I'm doing here. Because if I go down like this, it's just really gonna ruin your fine tip. Okay, there's froggy number 1. And I don't think I did his belly. There, smoothed out his belly. So now we have all our coloring done. I'm going to get out my card. I thought it was under there. There's just the sunshine. All right, isn't that turtle cute? I love the turtle. Okay, and there is a turtle in the coordinating stamp set as well. If you don't have the DSP and have the stamp set, you could cut him. So I'm going to tuck those flowers in like that, but first I'm going to put some of my Tombow on the flowers. All right, and then just tuck them in the grass. You know, I'm wondering if I should put him over here. No, he's too close to the sun that way. Since he was facing that way, I thought about moving him over here. But he's kind of peeping back at you with his eyeball, so so that works. He's peeping back at we'll say the frog. All right, so just adhere those down just under the grass. Now the frog and the turtle I'm going to put on dimensionals. So, by the way, I have old dimensionals from previous kits, and then of course new Stampin' dimensionals. The old ones were just a hair thicker, and I think they went back to using whoever makes their normal dimensionals, so they had a problem with it, not with this, oops, excuse me, with the stuff peeling off the adhesive. I have all these fun facts, don't I? That's what my daughter calls them. I got a fun fact, Mom. Okay, here's a turtle. I use all my pieces. And then the frog. This one's about gone. Just need a little piece for him. I'm going to use half of this. I go through lots of dimensionals. Okay. So let's put him on here. We still have to do our sun. I should have done that when I had the Stamparatus out. All right. I want his feet to be kind of straight. I love the shine that this designer series paper is. It's called specialty paper, and why this one is special is it has I'm going to put him there just to cover that spot. So there is that. One more thing, I have to add a sun. So let me get out the Stamparatus. Now I have a scan and cut, so I made my own template with the sun. But you can easily just stamp yours and fussy cut it out if that's not what you have. And actually, I used him over here. So I purchased multiple deluxe mats so that I could take this one off and still have all my stuff in the same spot if I wanted to stamp something else. Oops, gotta get a sun out. Okay, next hardest part is finding that little spot where he goes in. And I think I already know I stamp him twice to make him nice and dark. What do you guys think of this alternate? It's very, very, very cute. Using up some of the coordinating products. Okay, that's a good sun. Clean him off. All right, and now I'm going to put him on with dimensionals. You guessed it. Have this one big piece. He should be good. And put him over the hole. I love that that perfectly covers that hole in a good size. All right, so the next thing I would do would be to add these loose daisy embellishments. Now these are not available right now. They went on back order, and their item numbers when they come available, it's 160555. And by the way, I didn't mention I have a host code here. So if if you do not have a demonstrator and want to purchase any of these products, I'd really appreciate your support by using the host code. If your order is over $150, you want to do your own customer order. That way you get your own hostess rewards. For orders over $50, I send you a small thank you gift. And you would also still get your celebration items as well. So keep that in mind. I did add the embellishments, which I will wait, but I also added these birds. And these birds are actually from the Playful Piggy dies themselves, the ones that are on back order. It's this die right here, this little bird. And so I've already cut several of those and put little dimensionals on them, so I didn't have to cut little pieces for you guys. And we're just gonna do this. Now, since I put him so far to the right, later I may go and add a second frog on here, but we'll see. Whoops. He didn't fly upside down. And there you go. So which one do you like, the turtle or the dog? Oh, I did him close too, and he looks okay. I probably covered that same gap. All right, so there is my first alternate. Let me put all these away so I don't get ink on them. And then we'll get working on our second alternate. In my bucket. Now my second alternate is my favorite. So here is my second alternate. So I used some more elements from the Playful Piggy dies. And look, this little wagon is a part of that, as well as the wheels and the handle is part of that. So this is a great value for $12.40. I haven't even used it with the pigs yet. There's only 3 stamps that coordinate with the stamp set, which is right here, which this is still available as well. I just noticed there's a cute butterfly. So it would cut out these images, but then you get all these other goodies to work with, to use with whatever you want to. And so today I've paired that obviously with the paper pumpkin kit. All right, so I have my goodies for that in here too. I have my card base and my wagon and my grass already. Now this grass, I used the blending brush method. So that's kind of what you can get as dark as you want it to, using that method that I showed earlier. Now I have another sunshine that I've already made, but I did also want to show you an option. This is part of the DSP that I just showed earlier that coordinates with this kit. If you wanted to just use the sky and add a sun, maybe I'll do that this time to show you what it looks like. All right, so let's adhere this down. And look, this is what one of our card bases looks like, the back side of it. But I want the clouds. Find my adhesive. And you probably want to know what size it is. Let me get my ruler. So you could actually get 2 of these. I cut just from the top. See if I can find that piece. Here it is. I cut just from the top. Right here, I cut it to be 2.75 inches. Actually, this one is over here. And I use this piece, and I could use this to make another. And then my next cut could be good for a card front. I may have to cut some more clouds off, but I'd like to leave as many of the glossy ones as possible. All right, so there's my sky. I'm going to do my grass. Am I still in camera? Cute. I like that. That's cute. And we can even add a sun. This one's a mango sun. Let's see. We'll decide where to put him in a minute. All right, so then I have my other pieces that I've already pre-cut and stamped. So this is the wagon from the kit, and as you can see, it even has like embossing on it. All right. So, and it has the handle, and it has the black handle to cover it up, and the wheels. So what I did on this card was I cut the handle off and then angled him down, like no one was holding the handle. So they were just sitting in the wagon. And then this one, I cut the cute little rabbit out of the DSP and really angled him so that he was like really pulling the piggies in the, not the piggies, pulling the frogs in the wagon. So I've already pre-cut another rabbit. So the other rabbit, he's yellow. Oh, and he goes good with the blue sky. So that worked. All right, so let's glue all these pieces on the wagon. This one's the hardest one to get on. So I just kind of plop him on there and then get gluey hands. And then once you get him straight, don't move him. Let him dry. That's pretty good. And then I already have glue on the wheels. And the wheels also have an embossing on it. Sticky fingers now. Let me see if my wet paper towel will work on that. Okay, so there's our wagon. I'm going to let that dry while we color more frogs. I've already stamped these to save on some time. There's an extra in case I messed up. I shouldn't mess up. Okay. And the frog, he would be pretty easy to fussy cut, I think, if you weren't able to get the dies or don't have a die cut and emboss machine. He easily works through the mini machine as well. All right, the third frog I did in pumpkin pie. So I had a variety of frogs. And by the way, I didn't mention in my opening, but there is a special starter kit promotion that also is going on with Celebration for $99 plus tax, if that applies in your area. You get to pick, I think it's like $175 worth of items for $99, or if you choose to get the mini die cut and emboss machine, they offer it half price, so your cost would be $129 for the starter kit, and then you would still get to pick that amount of merchandise up to, I think it's $175. I have details about that on my website, which I will link my website in the description box below as well. So if you do not have a demonstrator, and actually hobby demonstrators are welcome as well. That means you just plan on using your own, joining to get your own discount. There's no commitment to do workshops or videos. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love you to join my team, and I share all my ideas with you, and when I make PDFs, you have access to those as well. All right, let's smooth out the orange one. I don't see many frogs orange in my area, but I know they exist. Okay, I just ran that off to make sure it was free. Oh, I forgot to do this part. So since the frogs are kind of small and I want them sitting in the wagon, I cut off the top rail of this wagon, and I really want my fine tip scissors so that they would stick out the top. Okay, so you can make a wagon any height you want. You know what? If you just use the bottom one, that would be good, like a pallet if you're carrying plants and stuff. Just had that idea. Okay, so now we're going to put our frogs on the back. I'm just going to put dots of adhesive on the wagon. And let's put our frogs. This one is my favorite. I love this little wagon. All right. Let's see if my fingers stick to them. Why not? Yes. Try to pull them away. Okay. Let's just do it from the back. My finger was really stuck to him. And let's see what he looks like. That's pretty good. Let me get his foot in there. Easiest to do this without sticky fingers. Okay. Got him on there. So we need, he's not stuck. I was going to say I may have to get a glue dot to stick him in there. All right, so we have our rabbit and we have our wagon. So I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. I'm going to put him across the frog so the frog stays as well. And I may want to put some half pieces up on the top just so they don't collapse. And they stay where they're supposed to. Okay. You notice I have the back where I stuck it in my Stamparatus and it still had ink on the platform, and that's okay. You don't have to get that ink off when you make your template spot. So I just want to make sure I have room. Let's see, do I want them down in the grass or up like level? I think I'll do it down in the grass like that, just a little bit. Okay, now my bunny needs dimensionals. I'm going to go without one on that foot. Okay, now rather than do him like this, I'm going to do him really crooked, like he's working really hard to pull that wagon. Like that. Now I don't know if, will the birds go? I thought I already had some more birds with dimensionals on them. Let's see if the birds might blend in too much with the blue sky. No, actually they go pretty well. There's one with a dimensional. There are some in here with a part of a dimensional. So let's add some birds in the sky. The birds were cut out of balmy blue. I don't think I said that. The wagon is out of gray granite. And of course the wheels and handle are out of basic black. Okay, so what if we put that sun right here? We gotta have a sunshiny day to finish out this one. Scissors. Well, there's one piece of a dimensional. Then I can throw that away. And I think I've already said I do cut my dimensionals in half. Just want to expand my supplies. So there you go. So which one of these do you like best? With the blue sky or my ray of sunshine? So cute. All right, I do have one more thing to show you for this video. And as you know, or may not know, on the back of your instructions, Stampin' Up, let me get this piece of scrap paper out of the way. Stampin' Up gives you alternate ideas. And so I looked at this one and I was like, okay, I want to make that. So I'll give you the tips that I came up with to make mine. My card is here. So I did use the bottom piece of that DSP I showed you earlier that has the flowers on it. There's all my extra flowers. Okay, and then, so I did not use this in the kit yet, and I think you have 3. So what I did is I just simply traced this on a piece of white paper and then cut it out, and you're left with this piece of white paper. See? So then I used my blending brush and I colored it with balmy blue ink. And then I used this stamp. Now, in my last video, I said I was going to do a prize drawing. So I'm not going to tell you where this come from. The first person to respond and tells me where this stamp came from, and I'll give you a hint. It's a celebration stamp, so that's a big hint. So you tell me which one it is and the item number, and then you get to pick any of these cards that I've made, and I will mail it to you. So when you comment of what stamp set that is, if you can just provide me your email address, and then I'll contact you separately and to get your address information and send this on the way. So you can pick any of the cards that I've done, even in my first alternate. All right, so there's the prize drawing. Back to how I made this. So then I used this. Now when I stamped, I tried to drag it to make it look like moving water. Some worked, some did not, but it still gave it some dimension. It was kind of flat, just colored. Then hopefully you have a cloud left, because I traced the cloud, and this is what I think they used as the lily pad. It's really hard to tell, but I think that's a cloud. So I did that, and then I used the same blending brush and colored them as well. And then made my frogs. I put my frogs on dimensionals, and then I have 3 sets of flowers put on this one. Okay, and then there is some greenery here. Now, I did not have the dies. I missed out before they sold out. They will be available again soon, but they used a die that creates this grass. And one thing they didn't do was add these little flowers around, the embellishment flowers, and I wanted to add those. So I did my own sentiment, by the way. I just had a piece of scrap white paper, put it in my template like I did in video 1, stamped it, and then I did my own penciling around to give it that whimsy look, kind of like the others, with my Stampin' Write black marker. And then I added a piece of ribbon below just to help that stand out and separate it. So that is how I recreated their idea. So that is it for today. I hope you've really enjoyed these alternates. I love them. They are my favorite so far. I still have, the original card bases to work with that we saved half of in this kit. So I'll be working on my brain, coming up with those ideas. Here are the alternates we made again. Well, these are the other 2 I already had made. And the one with the dog. I really put him away. No, there they are. Okay, so if you have any questions, be sure to ask them below. I love reading comments, so let me know what you think about these alternates. And again, I used a lot of the Playful Piggy dies, not even as they were mainly made for the Piggy stamp set. Don't forget that the March Paper Pumpkin subscription period is going on now through March 10th. So don't miss that kit. And until my next video, thanks for joining me today. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. Please share with other friends who you know that may be Paper Pumpkin subscribers, or even in the past, I've made lots of alternates. So if you have those kits sitting around, check out my other videos and for some inspiration of alternates for those. Thanks for joining me again. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.